Hey there guys, and welcome back to another episode of my subscriber feedback. It's been a while, I know. I had a load of videos scheduled to upload whilst I could focus on some uni work, and I never got around to recording this one for some reason. So here it is. Sorry it's been late. I'll try and keep these on track. But you know, life gets in the way. So let's just jump straight in with the first one here, and I'm going to disable annotations. So I actually really like this piece. The materials are really nice. It's really nice to see these kind of like flat low poly designs with a really nice colour scheme. Everything fits in really nicely, nothing kind of clashes. It's rendered out really well. You got some great detail in with the kind of low polyness. You didn't just go for like a kind of standard tube here. It's actually deformed really well. It would have been cool if these little circles that came out here kind of almost went with the flow of that, but that's being really kind of picky. Really nice subtle modelling of like Saturn here, and then I really love, like, you could have just ended it really badly and just thrown a logo on, but you wanted to keep the theme of like the stars, so you got the kind of constellation that it's drawing it out of, so it actually works really well. Yeah, I really like this piece. Really great job on this one. And I'm trying to subscribe to as many designers as possible, so there we go. You got yourself another subscriber. So the next one here is Eurographics Intro, and you got an Element 3D intro, it seems. So it's really nice. Element does a really great job of just kind of lighting and texturing scenes effortlessly. You've got some nice camera angles here. I'm not sure if anything's actually in focus though, which is a bit of a shame. One thing I will say is with Element, you don't just have to throw your logo in. You can put things on different layers, so a bit like having loads of different extrude knobs in Cinema 4D, you can have different layer groups. So for something like this, it looks a bit plain having all the logo extruded to the same depth. What I would do is maybe put these two flame bits which go through here on a different one, have them extruded a little bit less and pushed further back, so it almost does look like it could intersect through the main object. Then maybe have these four slightly different extrusions as well. It just kind of adds a bit of variety to the piece and just makes it a little bit more interesting. But really nice reveal of everything. It's a shame that the logo is cut off by the letterbox. Maybe don't put the letterbox on, and it would go a bit better. I know sometimes it does look better with it on, but for a lot of kind of like Call of Duty players and things, they put their own letterbox on, so it's a bit weird when you kind of jump between a kind of really big letterbox and then a really narrow one as well. So just be careful with that. Don't kind of sacrifice the design just to have it letterboxed, because yeah, just kind of experiment with it without, and if you think it's better. But as I said, really nice lighting on here. The kind of light sweep really works well. The flares seem a little bit pointless, but you know, you can throw flares on and maybe they won't notice, and really subtle flares work really well. I always kind of just put one off screen to kind of get a little kind of like light spill into the scene. So just play around with it and just kind of finesse the kind of art of it a bit more. I have no idea what I'm on about. Let's move on. So the third one here, we have a tech intro. Okay, so I can tell you spent a lot of time modelling. You got these great details here. And then you got a tunnel. Appears to be the center of a cog. And then the logo reveals. So I can tell you spent hours or days kind of modeling this together. And yeah, it's good. I'm not sure about the logo being cracked at the end. I would have always kind of, if it was in the same detail as the text below, but I guess you could keep it as this kind of reddy orange, but I reckon the blue would have worked better. You could have all this and then it just cuts, well, you can have all that if you want, and then just has the final bit. You could always then fade out everything on the edge as well, and so it just reveals the logo. And always have the camera moving to the very end, even if it's like a really subtle movement. So if you put some easing on the keyframes for the camera, so when it comes back out it just slows down, it'll flow a lot better rather than it just ending statically here. You can also add, I think it's a vibrate tag, yeah, to the camera, and then you can get it just kind of like moving around on its spot, really subtly. You don't need high values in there at all. Like, you can have the X, Y and Z positions on like 4, 5, and then the frequency on like 0.1, and that way you just get some really like handheld camera, and it just kind of looks a bit more natural. And especially when it comes to a stop, you can still see it kind of moving around, and it's really nice. It's a subtle effect, but it works really well. But I really like the modelling in this, and the idea is really good. Just keep in mind those few little tips, just to kind of make sure it flows all the way through. But really good job. I imagine the rendering was horrendously long on it, so keep it up and just kind of think about the very endings and make sure it flows all the way through. So here's number 4. And again, my pet hate of a random song thrown in, and this one's even worse because you got this wiggle going to it, and I can't stand that. This is what I hate. Not saying it's bad, but not my thing at all. And you can see you got the motion blur and the wiggles causing all these black bits, which is it twitch or wiggle, I don't know. But you got, like, I guess one thing I can say is you've got the sound effector there. I mean, it's a cool technique. You got all these shiny objects, and you got this logo which is very flatly lit and not very reflective, so maybe just make sure you're blending it all in. And I guess if you added some ambient occlusion in, you might get some nice kind of shadows, or even a light. A light would be good, rather than just lighting it with a softbox, which I can see in the reflection here. It looks like you may have only used an HDR, because you got this light bit here, which is either just part of the HDR or the default light. So I imagine your render time is actually quite long as well, which is unfortunate. But I mean, you've got some nice techniques, and I imagine you're quite new to the game, so just keep playing around with things and try and avoid just throwing on some horrible song. And that's all I can really say for it, I'm afraid. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm British, shut up. Okay, so finally we have this intro here. Do we have some other spill into the scene when it hits? Looks like we do. Yeah, we do at the top. One quick tip for everyone who has this problem. There's a plugin in After Effects that's built in. It's called... oh god. Not an earthquake, just nudged my laptop. There's a plugin called Motion Tile, and basically what it does is it repeats your screen over a specified distance. So you can say, originally it's 100% height and width, but I want it 200, so I'll repeat it. So it's twice the size, and if you click mirrored edges, it basically flips it, so you get pretty much like qubit mapping in Cinema 4D. You get this kind of repeating pattern, and so obviously it'll look horrible if like you zoom out loads, but if you're just using like a subtle effect of just kind of sliding like this, it'll just help fill in so you don't get these black bars at the top. And in something like this, just throwing a letterbox on will cut that out. It is also really helpful for things like CC lens. That's a good effect. Often you get a really distorted look on the edges. One fix you could do for that is just duplicate the layer, put it below, and so there is something always behind it. Because if you have this scene and then you get these horrendous kind of like black distortion lines, it can look bad. But anyway, back to this intro. It's nice. A lot of the time I just point this out. I might do a logo rendering tutorial for motion design. Yeah. If you just put some caps on the logo and a light up to the side, you get these really nice kind of highlights around it, so it outlines it subtly without kind of going crazy, and you get these really nice a nice look to it. It defines the logo more, makes it look kind of less flat, less plain, and really just brings it out. So that could really work well here if you had like a nice light highlight around here. The smoke's a cool addition. What would have been cool is if you could either use a depth pass or a object buffer and just get it so it's actually sitting behind the letters, because I guess when it hits it'd be behind, but then they kind of spill over. So some clever keyframing on that would be cool. If you used an object buffer and then just lower the opacity so it actually covered it with time, that'd be cool. And also smoke, if you look at it, a lot of the time when it's really built up together, you can't actually see through it. So often not putting it to add or screen can actually make it look better. I know if it has like a black background you kind of have to, but if it is kind of pre-keyed, so it doesn't have a background, when you throw it on it should look fine as it is. Sometimes like if you're layering them up you need to change their blending modes, but often you can just leave it the same. So that is Ian's big tip for this episode. Yeah, really nice timing. It's nice to see the letters kind of come in, they don't just appear there, or use Nitroblast or Throwsy. Yeah, it's a cool little look to it. So really great job on that, and you got some nice stars in the background, maybe some depth of field on them would look cool. But yeah, really nice. Well done everyone. Don't know if this episode was any good, I've kind of just rambled along. But yeah, if you want to take part in next week's, then leave the video link as a comment below. Some people are taking the initiative, and I like it, of writing the comment of what they think of the video, and then below that posting the link to their video, and so they're not kind of like spamming the comment box. But you can do that if you want, you can spam it up. More comments, more views, I don't know. I'm getting close to 20k as well, so yeah, if you could share this channel out, I'm like 50 off I think, that'd be awesome. I don't know what I'm doing for 20k at the moment. Someone suggested a motion pack, so I might do. Tempted to give away a few of my old scenes, so you can kind of have a look into them and how they're built. I'm not sure if I can include the textures because I don't know if I have some of the textures anymore. But yeah, I might do that, or I might just create a few scenes for you of kind of different lighting styles and how they can be incorporated into intros, or just like a scene of different kind of like text animations, so you can kind of see how everything's built up. Kind of awesome. I don't know. I would do a contest, but I literally have no money to give away, and people don't tend to enter contests if there's no money involved because everyone likes money, and you can't really do like a $5 contest because no one thinks it's worth it. And yeah, so if you have any comments about that, please leave a link below. Also, check out all the people who were featured in today's episode. Yeah, just check them out, give them a subscribe, go to their video, which the link will be below as well, and leave a comment about what you thought of the intro. So maybe give them some feedback. Be nice. I mean, I was a bit mean to one of them, but yeah, I just don't like it. So yeah, have a great day everyone, and I'll see you later.